Okay, we are live, you guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me do a double check to make sure you guys can hear me. Because last time I've got a bunch of complaints of people saying they could not hear me. So we are going to find out if I am actually on. So good afternoon, everybody. This is the Donovan Sadiq show. As you guys know, I'm from time to time, I will venture away from my compadre and do my own thing as things are heating up. And I do not know why I can't find this. Your videos, here we go. Live. It should be live right now. I guess not. Well, anyway, obviously you guys can do me a favor. Give me a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. I want to make sure people can hear me. All right. Looks like Kamala Harris is now plagiarizing former President Donald Trump and what he wants to do. This is what we call an empty suit, you guys. We've been telling you guys, the new black media, we've been telling you guys over and over again, we don't care who you vote for. Just be an informed voter. What does this woman stand for? As of today, I still do not know what her platform is, where she's going, but it is a fact that Donald Trump, and it's a minor issue. But the point is, Kamala Harris and her running mate are nothing more than crash test dummies at this point. The Democrats don't want to put up their best bet. They have basically given up on the presidential race going into 2024. Why? Because the country is so messed up under their policies. So they are content to let this ride. I mean, no vision, no nothing. But I want to welcome you guys to my podcast. And I want to start the podcast off with this. And I hope you guys will understand why I am doing this. So bear with me here. I want you guys to see this. Fair use, by the way, fair use. Okay, stop. I'm sorry about that, you guys. The video does not seem to want to have any noise there. I'm sorry about that, you guys. The video does not seem. Let me try another one because I think this is very important. Have any noise there. I'm Let me try another one because I think this is very important. Okay, let's see. Let me try this one. I'm sorry about that, you guys. Let's try this one. I think it is very important that you guys see this. The Simpsons predicted this. And there, here we go. Fair use. Fair use. Oh, wow. The video does not want to play. It does not want, I think it's because it's The Simpsons. But how many of you guys remember? I'm going to go ahead and get out of that. Okay. Let's go back to regular broadcasting programming here. All right. Sorry about that, guys. I guess it's The Simpsons and you guys don't want to do it. But that is one of the things that The Simpsons predict, the rise of the billion-dollar candidate, the millionaires and the billionaires. All of these things have now happened with Donald Trump. So remember in the Simpsons world, Mr. Burns was this evil man, and and he is evil, but capitalism is good. So the rise of this candidate. So who would most likely be that candidate that would reflect to Mr. Burns? What the Democrats would have you think is Mr. Burns is Donald J. Trump. Simpsons are very, very, I like the Simpsons the first 5 seasons. After that, it kind of tapered off and kind of got away. But I like it when it was raw and new and stuff and had nothing to lose. But the rise of the candidate. So the demonization of Mr. Burns as this evil, rich person is rich and they're just evil and, everything is everything. Come to find out, greed, according to Gordon Gekko, is good. Greed is good. So I wanted to, but that's a great political video in what they were saying. In that episode where Mr. Burns runs for governor, he's running as an empty suit. That's what that episode was so important because it kind of talks about Kamala Harris to this very day. What Mr. Burns did was he took all of this money that he has and he bought influence. He bought muckrakers. He bought this. He bought that. He wasn't himself. He tried to portray himself as this benevolent type guy, right? And by portraying himself like that, people fell for it. And he almost won the election. So what I want you guys to understand is, and it's so sad. I have so many friends that are so damn emotional. They would rather be mad at me and dog me out or just they don't want to be friends right now or whatever over people they don't even know. I don't know Kamala Harris. I don't know Donald J. Trump. All I know is what their public persona is. But if you dig a little deeper, you will find who this person is. Now, as a California person, and if you ask most Californians who lived in California under the Harris regime, she's not very popular here. And as a Black man, she is definitely not somebody I would want to deal with knowing she's fake. She's fake. I know I've got friends that say, I'm going to vote for her anyway. She's a woman and blah, blah, blah. God bless you. God bless you. But there's another woman I want you guys to look at. And a lot of people voted for her because she was a woman. I'm sure you guys have heard about it. And her name is, hopefully this works. Please let it work. Can you guys hear that? I do not know why. Catch this. I don't know if you can hear that. God, I wish you guys can hear that. I'm not sure. But basically, you guys heard of Tiffany Henyard of Doltron, Illinois. This woman has basically bankrupted this city over a DEI hire. There's still $6 million that is unaccounted for. Checks were issued. They're sitting on a desk somewhere, but the money's not there. So even though they're reporting $9 million missing or $3 million missing, it's actually $6 million. It's actually $9 million that is missing. That's what's actually missing in this report. And I'm not saying because Miss Henyard is a woman that is a bad hire. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying she's a bad hire because she's a woman. If they had done their research on this woman, they would have known she had a mugshot. They would have known she hangs out with criminals. No, Miss Sweet Talks, good afternoon. No, she is not on the run. She was actually at another fun kid activity thing that she puts on for the residents and stuff. You know, and if you really think about it, because she markets herself so well, where can she run? Where can this woman actually run? And, you know, somebody will not recognize her. Somebody's going to recognize her somewhere. And it's, so she really can't run. She's stuck. So that city was authorized. $6 million checks were cut according to the budget. And they're on a desk somewhere. But according to the Lori Lightfoot report, $6 million isn't in the general fund. The money's missing out of the general fund, and they're $3 million in the hole, not even based on the checks that were supposed to go out. This town is ruined. This village is ruined. So what I'm saying is, if those people had done their research on this candidate, they would have known her proclivity, is that how you say it? Proclivity of criminal activity. And you guys got to remember, see, everybody forgets this. The town recalled her, but a judge on a technicality kept her in the seat. So they've been trying to get rid of this woman for over 3 years. So what does that have to do with Kamala Harris? Here's what I'm saying. I don't know if Kamala Harris is being elected is going to do anything in regards to good or bad. I don't know. All I know is, being from California, it's all bad. Once these officials get elected, it is very hard to get them out because of the technicalities of what they're doing. This woman, knowing that this information is now out, notice nobody's arrested her yet. If that was you or me, we'd be arrested right on the spot. But these officials have made it to where corruption is normal and they get special privilege. I want you guys to think about this. What if Kamala Harris gets elected president? What if she does? Let's just think about it. She gets elected president of the United States. With the way the country is right now, moving forward, she has no record of any type of executive action. When she was the DA of San Francisco, and then when she became the AG, look at all the criminal cases that she tried to cover up in regards to people's most sacred right, which is freedom. She didn't care. People were being railroaded, and she didn't care to do what was right. Now, as a Black person, she's already told us she's not doing anything specific for Black people, but she'll do it for the Asians. She unequivocally, even before even being elected president, has pledged allegiance to Israel. To Israel. I've got friends that are, oh, the genocide and all this other stuff, but they're supporting Kamala Harris. How do you support Kamala Harris, who is arming the aggressor, but yet you're crying for Palestinians? It doesn't make sense. I've got friends that are very pro-Israel, but they're also crying for the Palestinians. You got to take a side. You got to take a side. Oh, and Miss Sweet Talks, congratulations on your case being dismissed. I had no doubt. God is good, as you say, all the time. So Miss Sweet Talk says, Art, on technicality, these government officials have criminal backgrounds, but are still eligible to become politicians. That's right. Absolutely. We have to start vetting these candidates. Miss Sweet Talks also says Lori Lightfoot was not reelected, but is able to investigate City Girl Mayor Tiffany for misappropriations of funds and corruption. How is this happening? Miss Sweet Talk, I'm glad you brought that up. I want you to think about this. This town is in very bad situation financially. They brought in Lori Lightfoot, and don't get me wrong, she was an excellent prosecutor, federal prosecutor. She knows her stuff, okay? At $400, I think it's an hour, she's billing the city $400 an hour. Where are they going to get the money to pay her? Everybody is getting a cut of this little town. Everybody's getting something. She's going to get paid. You know, everybody's getting paid there. And guess who suffers? This black town. Like I said, everybody says, you know, oh, well, they get what they voted for. You got to understand, yes, they voted for her on a DEI hire. When they realize this is screwed up, they've been trying to get rid of this woman for 3 years, and she is being backed by the state of Illinois public officials. The judge kept her in there on a technicality, and they can't get her out because elections cost money. You got to have money to run an election. Even if it's a special election, it still costs money. So they had to sit for 2 years and wait for the election this year coming up to try to get her out. Now, remember, she still has over a year left as mayor of that town. You know, with what's going on and now that what has come out, I really doubt that she's going to be reelected. Yeah, you know, and Miss Sweet Talk, $4 an hour to investigate and the obvious, and the feds are already investigating. I'm not, you know, the feds are already investigating, but you got to look at it strategically. Lori Lightfoot brought up the fact that those police officers were getting overtime. The feds might not have been concentrating in that area. So she's probably brought up things that the feds aren't interested in or wouldn't even look at. And that police chief, Henyard's accomplice, obviously is a henchman who should not have been paid overtime, and yet he was. And these are law enforcement officials. See, this is the problem in America. Everybody is so afraid to speak out because they don't want to lose their job. They don't want to do this. And the problem with our police department is if there was a, let me get it right. There was a auditor, the Tyrant Terminator. Go to his YouTube site, whatever. He does public audits. He was taken in a room and allegedly beaten by the acting police chief of that town. Another black man, the black man and the black man. But here's the problem, Miss Sweet Talk, and everybody out there. This is the problem with our police officials. In that room were 2 other officers that held the man while the police chief allegedly beat him. So what's the problem there? You're a police officer. You are supposed to uphold the law regardless of who is breaking it. Doesn't matter if it's the president. It doesn't matter if it's the police chief. Doesn't matter if it's the mayor. You are supposed to uphold the law. So while this police chief is beating this auditor, why weren't the 2 other police officers charged with the crime? This is why qualified immunity is so important. If you're going to charge the police chief, why didn't they charge the other 2 officers that were in the incident? It's getting bad out here, you guys. Nobody wants to stand up for what's right because they are in fear of losing their livelihood. But just like you, Miss Sweet Talks, your faith in God had your case dismissed. You've been talking about that case for a couple of months now. And you're saying your faith in God got you through it and the injustice that you were going through. That's what kills me about these so-called Christians. Yay, you're a Christian and you believe in God. Where's your faith? Where's your faith? Because people always ask me politically, why am I not afraid of speaking out? Shouldn't you be afraid? Aren't you worried about somebody coming to your house? I wish somebody would come to my house. I wish somebody would come to my house. Family members tell me I have a death wish. I'm not afraid. Because when you're in the right, I'm a Christian. God got you. Like you said, Miss Sweet Talk, God over everything. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So in regards to Tiffany Henyard, I want you guys to think about Kamala Harris. All you guys that are not from California, that did not understand who she is, you're just going by a DEI hire. Oh, she's a woman. She's black. I don't give a damn what she calls herself because we've been voting white guys in from millennium, right? It doesn't matter what her color is. So here we are. Are you guys comfortable knowing that this woman kept people locked up past their jail times and defied the California Supreme Court when she was ordered to release those prisoners? Are you aware of that? Are you aware that she locked up single mothers because their kids were truant or missed so many days of school? Are you comfortable with that? Are you comfortable with that? She kept prisoners longer than their sentence so that they can service where the rich people live in California, fire brush areas. Slave labor. The state would have lost slave labor, and I believe that was one of her arguments for why she was defying the California Supreme Court, because it would reduce the state labor force in regards to prisoner working. How can you be a black person and be okay with that? Here's a woman that promotes women's rights, reproductive rights, not women's rights, women's reproductive rights. Why doesn't she just say it? She supports abortion. Just say it for what it is. Why do you have to disguise it? She is for killing babies. That's it. A woman should have a right to kill her child. She should just have that right. Black people are conservative by most measures of our being. We're conservative people, actually. At least, we used to be, Big Mama and all them, stuff like that. We used to be the standard in how women dressed, how our kids dressed. When I was growing up, my mama wasn't going to let me go outside with my pants not creased and looking presentable. Now, the homosexual is the look. The unkept is the look. I don't know where we lost that. But see, the Democratic Party, they promote the destruction of the black family. Not all families, only the black family. That's what they promote. And they go into your neighborhoods every 2 and 4 years, talk about give me your vote, and you get nothing for it. Right. Miss We Talk, VP doesn't have children and should speak on abortion rights at all. Yeah, she shouldn't speak on it. I don't know why she doesn't have children. Maybe it's a medical issue. Maybe because she was 304ing out there back in the day, and that's my opinion. She caught a damn disease that rendered her infertile. I don't know. But the point is she doesn't have children. So why is she speaking on it? Why is she speaking on it? What about men's rights? Why doesn't the Democratic Party champion that? A man should have a right and a say if his child should be born or not. women keep talking about equal rights. Where's the man's equal rights? I understand the women are the vessels, but the men are the ones that give life. So if, just like the same argument women make about, he should pay child support because I didn't make this baby by myself. Well, damn, shouldn't the man have saying in if the child should live or die? Shouldn't he? Because he was, he had a part in making it. There are a lot of men out here that would not be for their children being destroyed. So those of you that don't know Kamala Harris's record, I strongly urge you to do your homework or look at what is happening in real time in New Orleans, Fannie Willis in Atlanta. But the most critical example is Dolton, Illinois. CITYGIRL mayor who was breaking into cars, questionable background, questionable background, somebody that I wouldn't vote for based on what I've researched. You guys aren't even sure if this woman was raised here in the United States, which she wasn't. She talked about being bused. She wasn't here when the busing issue came out. These are questionable things. Why is she lying about being busing or not? Why is she lying about being black? What does it matter? Run on the issues. What does this woman stand for? I know you guys. My mama black. I know. My cousins are black. My grandmama black. I don't have any sisters, but my aunts are black. What does that mean when you say that? Do we ever go to white candidates and say, you need to vote for Kamala Harris because your mama's a woman? You need to vote for Hillary Clinton because she's white. I mean, only in the black community. Do we say that? Miss Sweet Talk says men's rights, DNA testing at birth, no automatic child support payments. Exactly. But see, Miss Sweet Talk, you're talking about the actual birth. A lot of women, they terminate before it even gets to that point. So, they are the final arbitrator for who lives and who dies. But what happens to that man's rights? But that's why, Miss Sweet Talks, I really don't believe women believe in equal rights. They really don't. They believe in unequal rights. If it benefits them, it's good. If it doesn't benefit them, it's bad. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, real time, look at Dolton, Illinois, and a DEI person, because she was the first woman, the youngest woman, all of this BS. Look what happened to the town. I want you guys to imagine what America would look like after a 4-year term of Kamala Harris. She can't speak. That's why she has been avoiding the news. She will not sit down for an interview. What does that tell you guys? She's a crash test dummy. Who is running this country? We know the corporations and the lobbyists and the ultra mega rich people. But in general, where are our unapologetic candidates? I'm not a Donald Trump supporter, but I can say nobody controls him. He says what he wants. He goes where he wants. And you want to know why he does that? Because he has money. When you've got money, you have freedom in this country. So Ms. Sweet Talk says, agreed. Women don't believe in rights for everyone. They don't. Like I said, they just don't do it. So that's my cautionary tale about Ms. Tiffany Henyard. But I want to share something else with you guys real quick. And I think it's very, very important. I want to go to the Congressional Black Caucus. Okay. Here are all your members. And you guys remember, Kamala Harris was a Congressional Black Caucus member. Oh, so she's black. She's black. See, I just proved it. She is a black woman. There's Karen Bass, who's now the mayor. She was a member. There's Sheila Jackson Lee, Barbara Lee, all these black folks that no, I'm sorry, that's not Barbara Lee. This is Barbara Lee over here. Jimbo Clyburn. And look, there's Kamala Harris. She's right there. Kamala Harris is right there. They still got her up. But I want you guys to understand this. About the CBC. Since its establishment in 1971, the Congressional Black Caucus has been committed to using the full constitutional power, statutory authority, and financial resource of the federal government to ensure that African Americans and other marginalized communities, Demetra K did this months ago, in the United States have the opportunity to achieve the American dream. Now, let me show you some of the things, because a lot of you guys don't know this stuff. You're not interested. You're not doing your homework. This is what the Congressional Black Caucus stands for, okay? Show me specifically where it is a black thing. Number one, reforming the criminal justice system and eliminating barriers to reentry. That benefits everybody. Combating voter suppression. That's everybody. Expanding access to world-class education from pre-K through post-secondary education levels. That's everybody. Expanding access to quality, affordable health care and eliminating racial health disparities. That's everybody. Expanding access to 21st century technologies, including broadband. That's everybody. Strengthening protections for workers and expanding access to full, fairly compensated employment. That's everybody. Expanding access to capital, contracts, and counseling for minority-owned businesses. There's that word minority. What does minority constitute? Doesn't just mean black. Minority could be Hispanic. It could be Latin. It could be Asian. It could be white women. It could be LGBTQ. Another everybody thing. Promoting U.S. foreign policy initiatives in Africa and other countries that are consistent with the fundamental rights of human dignity. Are you guys getting my point? Are you guys getting my point? You go on the other caucuses websites, it says nothing about black people or everybody. It says specifically their people. The Hispanic caucus says nothing about others. It just talks about their people. You go to the Asian page, same thing. Nothing for black people specifically. And this is a group that basically says they represent black people. It's a Trojan horse. It's an empty suit. They sit up there, we're black, we're black, we're black, when nothing I read there was specific to black people. And that's the opening page. Don't let me go to their individual records. Remember my podcast, Black Politicians Ain't Ish? I took individual members and I showed you guys what they've done specifically for black people, and not one of them, not one, does for their people. They do for the Hispanics, they do for the Asians, they do for everything else. Yes, Miss Sweet Talk, money, power, respect. Yes, CBC is full of crap. What is other? It's not a black-only committee. Exactly. But I just wanted to get on here real quick. I wish I could have found a way for that video to work. I think it's because the way I plugged my thing in or something. I don't know. StreamYard gets kind of a little Yankee a little bit. But go watch Mr. Burns Runs for Governor. And that will tell you a lot about Kamala Harris and how she's running her campaign. She's an empty suit. She's having you look this way, and she's, acting a certain way when she's really the problem. Miss Sweet Talk says, we're the only group that can have anything is specific for, can't have anything that is specific for us. No anti-hate bill, no reparations, and no civil rights. Damn! Keep your podcast going, Miss Sweet Talk, because a lot of this stuff that when I see you on there talking plain, making it plain, I think that is the way you got to talk, because I know some people will say, to me, they go, oh, you're really aggressive, or you're really abusive, or whatever. And I'm sorry, I'm just a straight, here it is, no chaser type talker, because I'm also passionate about it. But I like the way you talk, because you have that down to earth messaging. And I think with the new black media, with a lot of us basically saying the same exact thing, it's going to really, really resonate with people. They're ginning up this false thing about Kamala Harris and this great support that she has. It's all been faked. Watch Mr. Burns runs for governor, episode of The Simpsons. It is the exact same playbook that Kamala Harris is running right now. She's projecting to be something she's not. And she's using money to fool you. Don't get mad at Megan Thee Stallion. Don't get mad at all of these celebrities that want to get paid. It's rough out there. And if it's true that they're paying off these celebrities to endorse them, money, power, respect. Isn't that what goes on in our hood? Get rich or die trying. Isn't that what we project? But when you got the new black media talking truth, like most politicians, like Tiffany Henyard of Doltron, it's all fake news. Is it fake news? Is it fake news? I say this on my show. I say it on the Demetra K show. Don't just listen to what I'm saying. Go research what I'm saying. I want you to research what I'm saying. And you'll be shocked that I was right. And if you got another opinion, come back and tell me your opinion about it. You know, do that. But the thing is, I want you guys to think that's a small town of 20,000 people that this woman destroyed. Now, remember, they are 3 million in the hole from what she can tell. There's over $6.1 million checks that have been issued, but they don't know where they're at. But ask yourself this. Okay, there's checks out there for $6.1 million. So that money should still be in the bank because it hasn't been pulled from, because those checks haven't been cashed. So where's the $6.1 million? You add that to the 3 point whatever deficit is, that's almost $10 million that is missing. Let's not include the $33 million lawsuit that the city just lost, plus the whistleblower claim that was just lost. This woman destroyed that town of 20,000 people. You mean to tell me you're going to vote for Kamala Harris, a DEI hire, based on the fact that she would be a woman? Oh, she'd be the first woman, the first black woman, the first Asian woman, the first Latino woman, whatever she calls herself. Are you guys willing to risk 300 million Americans' livelihoods based on a woman you really don't know what her background is, what's going on with her? Are you guys willing to do that? Because in the Doltron situation with Tiffany Henyard, those bills have to be paid. They've got to be paid some way. So what does that mean? Taxes have to go up. They have to pay their bills. Things have to be sold. Employees have to be laid off. Are we willing to risk that in a Kamala Harris situation? I've been telling you guys since this administration took power, we have been in a recession since 2020. When you give all that money out, and the American government, they just print their own money. We can just print. I don't know why we're paying interest on money that we print ourselves, but okay. But interest is going on there, inflation. All this money is going out, but there's not enough money coming in. All these migrants that we're supporting. Do the math, you guys. Do the math. I know what Kamala Harris is about. She's an empty suit. She's a DEI hire. We should not be electing people to public office based off identity politics. We just shouldn't do it. I don't care if that person was a former Klan member or whatever. I really don't. Because that person, I don't know personally. I just look at the results of what they're doing for the community. If they're doing great for the community, great. And I know right now, because I made that statement, somebody's going to say, well, we're going to go back and change in 2025, and they're going to do all of this other stuff. Really? Really? You actually believe, with all the violence in the Black community, all the violence and the drugs and the homelessness and the apathy in the Black community, that Black people are just going to roll over and go walk into the cotton fields and the tobacco fields and just go back to what our ancestors used to be. What you're describing to me is a people that have nothing to lose. Think about that. You're telling me black people are just going to roll over and be incarcerated, massively incarcerated, which we already are, and just be done with it. When you're dealing with the people that have nothing to lose, what do you think is going to happen if they even attempted that? If they even attempted it? Come on, you guys, wake up. All right, but don't forget to tune into the Dimitri K Show later on this afternoon, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central Time. I'll be on there with Dimitri K. And if you guys haven't done your homework on this Tiffany Henyard lady, look at what that town did. They voted in identity politic candidate, and she destroyed the town. Destroyed it. Donovan Sadiq, you guys. You guys have a nice day. We'll see you guys a little bit later, a couple hours. Have a good one. Miss Sweet Talk, say hi to Princess for me. All right, we'll talk to you guys in a few hours.